The British royal family has lost one of its most enduring and cherished connections to a bygone era. Lady Pamela Hicks, the last surviving bridesmaid from Queen Elizabeth II's historic 1947 wedding, has passed away at the remarkable age of 97. Her death marks the end of a direct living link to one of the most iconic moments in modern royal history, the day a young princess married a naval officer and became the longest reigning monarch in British history. There was no dramatic final announcement, no long farewell tour, and no public ceremony to mark her passing. Just the quiet, solemn realization that the woman who once stood beside the Queen on the most important day of her life is no longer with us. Lady Pamela Hicks was born on April 19, 1929, at Downing Street in London, where her father, Lord Louis Mountbatten, was serving as the First Lord of the Admiralty. She was born into one of the most powerful and influential families in British aristocracy, the Mountbattens, who were closely tied to the royal family through marriage, service, and blood. Her aunt was Princess Alice, the mother of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, which made Pamela a first cousin once removed to the future Queen's husband. That family connection placed her at the heart of the royal circle from birth, and it placed her in a position that very few people in history have ever occupied, standing just feet away from the Queen on the day she became a bride. When Queen Elizabeth II married Prince Philip on November 20th, 1947, at Westminster Abbey, Lady Pamela was one of the 10 bridesmaids who walked down the aisle beside Princess Elizabeth. She was just 18 years old at the time, young, elegant, and full of the kind of quiet grace that would define her entire life. She wore a pale pink dress with a white overskirt, a bouquet of white roses, and a tiara that had belonged to her family for generations. She stood beside the future queen as she took her vows, as she exchanged rings, and as she became the wife of a man who would stand beside her for more than 70 years. Those moments, those images that day, Pamela was there, and she would never forget it. For decades after the wedding, Lady Pamela Hicks remained a close friend and confidant to the Queen. She was not just a distant relative. She was someone the Queen trusted, someone she could speak to honestly, and someone who understood the weight of the crown without ever having to wear it herself. She attended royal events, family gatherings, and private moments that most people would never witness. She was there when the Queen had her children, when she faced crises, when she celebrated victories, and when she endured losses. She was a witness to history, and she was a part of it in a way that very few people ever are. Her life was not just defined by her connection to the royal family. Lady Pamela Hicks was a woman of her own right, with her own career, her own interests, and her own passions. She worked as a model, as an actress in minor film roles, and as a socialite who moved through the highest circles of British society with ease and grace. She was married to Ying-Xian mathematician and business magnate, and together they had 3 children, India, Oliver, and Nicholas. She was a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother who found joy in the quiet moments, in the conversations that mattered, and in the connections that lasted. She was not just a royal connection. She was a person, and she was a person who lived a full, rich, and meaningful life. The exact cause of Lady Pamela Hicks's death has not been publicly disclosed, and for now, that detail remains respectfully private, shielded by her family and the people closest to her. What is clear, however, is the impact of her passing. The royal family has released a statement honoring her life, her service, and the kind of woman she was. They spoke of her loyalty, her grace, and the way she made them feel like they were part of something important. They spoke of her friendship with the Queen, her dedication to the family, and the way she made them feel like they were the most important people in the world. Those words are not just about grief. They're about love, about memory, and about the kind of bond that can never be broken, even by death. For fans of the royal family, for people who have watched documentaries about Queen Elizabeth II, and for anyone who has ever been curious about the people who stood beside the monarch during her life, Lady Pamela Hicks's legacy will live on in the stories that defined a generation, in the photographs that still bring people to tears, and in the quiet moments when they think about the day the Queen became a bride. She was not just a bridesmaid. She was a companion, a friend, and a witness to history. She made the royal family feel real, made the monarchy feel human, and made the idea of duty feel possible. That's the kind of legacy that can't be taken away by death, no matter how painful it.